Well, we got her up in the air. She's idling in high gear. So, I don't know if you can see this with the camera, but that drive shaft right there moves just as straight as can be. This one right here, probably the camera won't pick it up, but it's got about 1/8 of an inch swing right there where that dark spot is, right in here. So, I don't know. Probably can't see it. Definitely got a bent back drive shaft. So, yeah, we're gonna pull this drive shaft. Yeah, it's got a hell of a wobble. Anyway, at least we know where the problem is. Because I got the door open partially too, so you don't have to put that in the comments. And I'm not gonna stay here long. I'm actually gonna go to the Bridgeton, do some shopping. Hear that rumble? So, put her in neutral. Yeah, everything goes quiet. So, at least I know where my problem is. When we get back to doing our shopping up to Bridgeton, we will take that drive shaft out. So this is the bent drive shaft, and as you can see, I put a lot of weight on it to try to balance it. These universals are extremely smooth. I'm going to tape them up and leave them on. I think these ones up here are good too. Yeah, that one I might replace. Feels a little crunchy. But anyway, I'm going to take off all these weights and get out a straight edge, and we'll take a look at this. I don't know if you can see this. Probably I can't hold the camera steady enough. But there's about a 1/16 of an inch wobble in that spline. So this spline is bent somewhere right here. And it's wobbling about a 1/16 out on the end right here. This up here don't move at all. And it doesn't move right here at all. So it's, this piece right here is what's bent. So I'm gonna get out and put it in the lathe and see if I can't see where it's bent. I might be able to straighten it, who knows. Well, I got this thing set up over here in the crank press. And I think this is where my wobble is, my vibration. We're off about 25 thousandths, and we're not quite at the end of the shaft, so I'm going to call it 25 thousandths of motion. Kind of crude setup, but it works. You know, just got it oiled up. It spins pretty nice. But you can see, I'm pretty sure this is my vibration. By the time you get out here and put your actual universal out here about this far, we're probably running 40 to 50 thousandths, almost a 1/16 of an inch out. Which you put the full diameter of this tube out, a 1/16 of an inch, and there's a lot of weight as far as being out of balance. So I'm pretty sure this is my problem. My oldest boy, he put it on a rock there somewheres and struck that back drive shaft right behind the yoke. And anyway, put a little tweak right here. So yeah, I'm gonna go to a friend's house here in a few minutes and see what he's got for drive shafts. So he's got a whole pile of four-wheel drive shafts, but doesn't mean it's gonna fit either. This is kind of a mongrel thing. This started out life as a 1/2 ton with a diesel with an automatic transmission in it. Now it's got a 6-cylinder with a, what is it, a 4 SM465. Is that the big 4-speed there that Chevy runs? Anyway, it's got that in it, and it's got a 1/2 ton rear end. It's a 10-bolt, but it's got the Oldsmobile universal, I believe it is. It's a mongrel. It's It's just a mongrel, and I've made shit work on it, you know, but it makes it hard to find stuff, you know. If my friend doesn't have another drive shaft for it, we're going to come back here, knock this center bearing off because it's rough, and we will go to straightening it with a torch. I think I can shrink it enough, but if I can find another one all good, that's the easiest method to go. And you know it's right, and you know it's balanced. But worst comes to worst, we'll fix this one. So anyway, I'll bring you back when we figure out what we're doing. So I just went over and ordered a new one of these center bearings. And I mean, it's not letting it really move any, but before I try to put it back on the truck, I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna try to straighten this with heat. I think that's my best option. I'm actually gonna try to shrink it. I'm gonna go to the high side, I guess you'd call it, and I'm gonna heat it, and it'll upset itself. If you heat it quick, it'll just displace the metal. The metal will come out a little bit, and then if you just let it naturally cool, it should bring it back. I've only got to bring it about 25 thousandths, and actually that's only about 15 thousandths or so, you know, or a little less, maybe 14 something, because you only got to go half the distance. So we'll see how it works here in a little bit. So right here where that double spline is, they actually splined it, but they stopped before they get to the end on that one. That's for the timing of the universals. That is actually closest to you on the indicator as far as being bent. So I'm going to put that down right there. I put a scratch right there so I could find it without getting the mirror. And I'm going to heat right here, do it fairly fast, make a little red spot right there, and then we're just going to let it cool on its own. We'll see if we can upset that enough to draw this back. We've only got to move it about, we're 28 thousandths out on the very end. So 14 thousandths. So not a whole lot to pull it, but it's enough to make this thing whip. So we're going to give it a whirl, see what happens. Don't know if that did enough or not. It's amazing. They don't take a lot sometimes. So I'm gonna let that cool probably for a half hour, and I'll bring you back and we'll see what it looks like. So after that one heat, I forget what it was before, 24 or something like that. We are now at about 16 and a half. Well, right there it goes to 17. Yeah, probably 17 thousandths. So we got rid of about 8 thousandths on that. So what I'm going to do, I got a mark there for the top. This next time I'm going to heat it on this side real quick. Then I'll heat it on that side real quick. Because what happens is once you've put, well, I guess I'm going to call it tensile strength in this. You've upset it so that it's trying to pull. So if you heat it in the same spot, you're just going to start going in and out. So what I have to do now is I have to come over here and make it so it pulls over here. And when I'm heating it and expanding it, this one here that's already got tension will hold against it as long as you don't get out into it much. You go right here and heat it, let it cool for 2-3 minutes, and then do the same over on the other side. And then after that, if you want, you can go and try the middle again. And you work it back and forth, and eventually you'll get it. So I'm going to do a couple of heats off camera. I've explained to you what I'm going to do, and we'll see what it looks like after 2 more heats. Well, I'm going to say it's within about 3 thousandths. I'm going to call it maybe 4, but I'm going to call it right there. It's pretty close. I kept actually going by. You know, you heat a red spot and it would just draw it too far. So what I did was I got it within about 15, and then I peened it a little bit right here. And by peening it, that was swelling that metal up and driving it back. So wherever my high side was, I was peening on the high side instead of heating on the low side. So anyway, just the opposite, but it works. Ain't that pretty, but there's nothing down here except for those cork seals, and they usually run right down. Well, they should run right about there. But I will take a file over that just to make sure there's no really offensive places. And yeah, I think we're going to try to put it back together and see what happens. I got this end here put back together, and you know, moves good and free. Those things can be a booger sometimes. But yeah, we'll put some. That there's a odd cross. This goes from a 3/4 ton to a 1/2 ton. So that one there is still in good shape, but I got to change this one here yet. And a lot of cleaning. They're pretty dirty. But I'm going to do that off camera. And yeah, we'll see how this old girl behaves here in a little bit. Actually, I can't see how it works tonight because I do not have the center bearing. That's coming on Monday. So I'll put this video up tonight. You can see what I did, what it took to straighten it. And I don't know if it's going to be a success or not until Monday evening. So anyway, keep safe, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.